did you go from being from nothing to building this billion-dollar business? And you've sold $1 billion in sales, coaching programs, and so many stuff like that.
If I ask you right now to bake a batch of brownies from scratch, could you do it?
I don't know how to do it.
Okay, but if I gave you a recipe, give you all the details on how to bake a batch of brownies, could you do it?
Yeah, I mean, I could get it close somewhere to being something good.
Okay, so does the recipe care that you're a woman?
No.
Does it care if you're a man? Does it care if you're white? Does it care if you're poor? Does it care if you're rich?
No.
What does it care about? You follow it, correct?
Step by step, yeah.
So life is just a recipe. When I found the mentor, all I had to do was follow his recipe, and then guess what I got? Success.
Awesome, everyone. You are joining into Breaking Boundaries with Aditi, the place where we bring you captivating stories, thought-provoking discussions, and I'm Aditi, your curious host. And today we have an inspiring individual joining us, someone who has overcome all of his challenges and has broken all of his boundaries. So none other than Bart Miller. He is a high-level business coach, a cowboy entrepreneur, fitness expert, philanthropist with an extensive track record of success in the e-commerce and informational product industries. And he is also one of the leading thinkers in the social media and public relations and communication industries. And guys, not only that, he's working with high-level entrepreneurs from Russell Brunson's inner circle. And today we are going to learn about how did he go from nothing to building a business that generates millions of dollars in revenue. So Bart, welcome. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Oh my goodness. Thanks for having me today. A little bit more about myself. I don't know. You did such a great job of covering everything. I love to play pickleball. I love to have fun. And I always say high energy equals high outcome. So I'm glad you got a lot of high energy.
Awesome. I love being in high energy. I mean, the more we show up with highness, the more, it's just contagious, right? So you love high energy. I see that. And I have read a lot about you online, but I've never met you in person. So I'd like you to share with me, what are the top 3 biggest things in your life that you actually love, and that's why you build this business? We call the why, the big why that we have. So what are those things?
Yeah, so my big why really comes down to helping people architect their lives, including mine. So the one thing I found in life is that if you don't architect your life or design your life yourself, somebody else will design it for you. And I didn't want somebody to design my life for me. So I started being very adamant about how I design my life. So I've got 4 amazing kids and an amazing wife. So great family. So, every day I want to make sure that they're taken care of. So that was a big part of my why. And then another big part of my why is just I love to help entrepreneurs grow, and I love growing businesses. So for me, it's just working really hard in my business and growing that, which I was very blessed to be in, start very early in the, basically building online schools and stuff like that. So we did that. And that's when we built our online makeup school, which is, out there. And just, those are the main things that drive me every single day. I mean, I love to play pickleball and team rope and bodybuilding and all the fun stuff. But at the end of the day, those are the things that really drives me, my family and business.
Amazing. That's something that's common in both of us, I guess, then. So,
Good.
So a lot of people here, they would love to. So I was actually talking to my community, our Facebook community, it has over 3,500 members. And I was asking people that what would you like to hear from the billionaire cowboy, Bart. So the first question that pops up is why do you call yourself that? What makes you call yourself that? What's the story behind it?
Yeah, great question. So I wasn't the one that came up with the name. That's the beautiful part about it, So a lot of times you don't get your name. But what happened is, the true story is that I quit rodeoing for several years, came back to rodeoing. And when I came back, I had a brand new, if you see my big living quarters horse trailer, it's a $250,000 horse trailer. multiple fancy horses, brand new saddles, brand new everything. So when I show up at the opens, everybody's like, oh, the billionaire showed up. It's the $1 billion cowboy. And so they all thought it was really funny because everything I had, my brand new pickup, brand new trailer, brand new everything. So it looked like I was, off a cover of a magazine. So started calling me at the rodeos the $1 billion cowboy. Now I have done $1 billion in sales. So let's make that clear, but that's not how the name came about. The $1 billion came strictly because a nickname got given to me by a bunch of my friends.
Amazing. And well, this is really great because now I'm really curious about how did you go from being there, like being from nothing to building this $1 billion business, and you've sold $1 billion in sales, coaching programs, and so many stuff like that. So a lot of people over here, like 90% of the people watching you right now, they're in the beginner phase of the journey, of building their online coaching business. So it would be really inspirational if you share what was the shift like.
Well, the shift really came down to your mindset, right? So I come from a very poor background, which means that, the money mindset is totally different. And I started to surround myself by really good people that had broader mindsets. And when I started into the real estate space, I got a good mentor that helped me learn how to buy properties, how to sell properties, how to buy companies, how to sell companies. So a lot of the things I've done is just being part of some going and help drive it. I'm not the face of it. I'm not the front man of it. I'm just behind making sure it all works. And then when I was in the reformulated fuel lubrication business, we were all over the world. I was in Japan, mainly in those shipping companies, so I've done a lot of brick and mortar and I've done a lot of online, but I really just let the universe guide me to where I'm supposed to be and where my magnetic mindset can come in so that I can attract the money that I want through those companies. And then when I feel like it's time to exit, I just get out of them. So I was very blessed at a young age to just have great mentors.
That's amazing. So you said that mentorship was something that really changed your life, and you were really blessed that at a young age you had great mentors. So how specifically that mentorship play a role? Because I see a lot of people who are still not investing in themselves. They get scared, and you're right, like they come from a poor money mindset background. That's why they probably have this issue. So how would you suggest those kind of people to overcome that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I apologize that I'm not the best with names, but I'm going to ask you a question. It's Aditi, right? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Sorry. But I'll try to keep it as close as I can. And I apologize. But if I ask you right now to bake a batch of brownies from scratch, could you do it?
I don't know how to do it.
Okay. But if I gave you a recipe, give you all the details on how to bake a batch of brownies, could you do it?
Yeah, I mean, I could get it close somewhere to being something good.
Yeah, because all you'd have to do is follow the directions,
Yeah.
correct? Okay. So does the recipe care that you're a woman?
No,
Does it care if you're a man?
no,
Does it care if you're white?
no,
Does it care if you're poor?
no,
Does it care if you're rich?
no.
What does it care about? You follow it, correct?
Step by step, yeah.
Yeah. So life is just a recipe. And when I found the mentor, all I had to do was follow his recipe, and then guess what I got? Success. The problem people don't understand is that you're trying to find the recipe that fits your life, and then you go hire that person. They teach you how to bake your batch of brownies, and guess what happens?
What
You have
happened?
success.
Yeah.
It doesn't care if you're poor. It doesn't care if you're rich. The recipe only cares if you follow it. So if you follow my recipe, you're going to get my outcome. My recipe doesn't care where you're at. It doesn't care if you're a woman, doesn't care what ethnicity you are. It could care less. All it cares about is you got to follow it. So all I did was follow really good recipes, and I had really great success. And the more you want to grow, go find the person who has that recipe and follow it.
That's 100% true, and I agree with you. Like, that's what people hire coaches for. But sometimes people just are scared to follow that recipe. They are scared, like, what will happen if I fail? Especially what will happen if it doesn't work? So what do we do then?
Well, you have to find somebody who's cooked the recipe. I mean, you can look at all the awards I have and the stuff behind me and know, oh, he's probably done okay with his recipe. He's not fought, you know what I'm saying? You don't just go hire somebody that's never cooked the recipe before. You got to find somebody who has that recipe. That way, when you invest in them, you know you're going to get the recipe, and you know if you follow the steps, you're going to get the result. Don't just go spend money to spend money. Find people who have done what you want to do, invest in them, and you'll see the success.
Amazing. Amazing, really. And this analogy was so cool. Like, I know I'm in sales, so I keep on giving analogies to my prospects. And this was a good one. Like, I will use this one.
Good.
And Bart, like 50%, of your clients, we were also discussing backstage, are from like Russell's inner circle. So how do you approach these A-level people, these 2 club winner people, because when I talk to someone who is already in sales, the conversation, and who's already an entrepreneur, like the conversations are completely different to comparatively to people when I talk to a beginner, or, who is 2 to 3 steps behind me. So how do you talk to these A-level entrepreneurs so that they can join your membership?
Yeah, it's a great question. So what I do is basically what they need is generally structural help. So they're not looking to learn a whole bunch of different things, but they want to know, how did I put certain sequence together? Or how did I work with certain employees in my business as I scaled it? They're after higher education on their growth pattern of where they're at. And they know that I've accomplished that. So when they're able to connect with me, they can use what Russell's teaching them. Then I can hone their skills in on the other stuff because I'm one-on-one with them, helping them grow their business to that next level. So it's pretty easy when they see my background, understand how I can help them put the recipe together in a simpler way. So like they might be missing 2 little ingredients, and that's all they need to take their business to a multi-million dollar business. So I'm just trying to find those little ingredients that they're missing, and because they've got most of it put together, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how it works, is I just approach them and teach them that I can help them find the pieces of the recipe that they're missing.
Yeah. Like it's always that one secret ingredient that's missing that makes the batch of brownies really good. So you are that
Amen.
secret ingredient for them, right?
There you go. You nailed it. Good way to put it.
I'm learning. See, I'm learning how to do. See,
Yes,
I've
you are.
learned so much. I mean, I see myself there. Like I want to win this, and then I am
Yeah.
coming there.
Good. I love it.
Awesome. So, so as I mentioned that I always, before hopping on these interviews, I talk to my community, like what are they looking to learn from you or entrepreneurs?
Yeah.
So people are will always asking me this question that, how did you come up with the idea of starting an accountability group? Because I mean, it just sounds really simple. And when you're working with A+ level entrepreneurs, like, why do they really need accountability? Because they've already accomplished, so they do know that they have to do the work to get forward, and they are already goal achievers because they've achieved a lot of goals already, right? So do they still need like that accountability, and what made you start that?
Yeah. So the answer is yes, and yes, and yes, and yes, yes. So I remember there was a time when I wanted to hit a big goal. And the thing is that we get in our own way, and sometimes we don't drive ourselves as hard as we want to. Yeah, we're accountable, but accountable to what? Right? So sometimes we need to be accountable, really super focused. And we need to make sure that if my day gets interrupted, I still get that done because I've got people tomorrow that I got to tell I got it done, or else I'll just say, I'll do it another time. So I always use the analogy. A lot of people want to get fit, right? They want to get in good shape. But here's the deal. They always stay the same weight and they don't change. But if I told them, you're going to be accountable to me every single day, and I'm going to put you on a stage and you're going to be naked up there in front of everybody in a year from now, I guarantee you, they would make change, right? They would make change because they're like, oh my God, I'm not going to be naked in front of everybody and look like this.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So you'll make dramatic changes. So it's not about accountability. It's about pushing yourself to the next level. It's about showing up and having a group of friends that understand you, because you got people that understand what you're going through and that you're growing and that you struggle and that it was hard to get out of bed today because I had my kids last night, but I did it because I promised I would be here. See, accountability it's not a negative, and it's like a lot of people do it. But if you want to go to the next level, it's a real inexpensive way to jump in, be around high-end performing entrepreneurs, see why they show up, see what they're being accountable to every single day, and then you get the growth. But the cool part too is all of them network. I mean, when you're in a group of friends like that and you're being vulnerable, the networking becomes amazing and they become really, really close friends. I mean, I have 150 people, maybe 200 people in the accountability calls now, and they're all like best friends. They all love to come to my events together because they want to talk to each other, but they're all high performers because I only let in high performing people. And when they get there, it's just so fun to see them grow and excel because they reach out to each other. They help each other grow their businesses, but they understand the struggle of an entrepreneur because they are one.
Yeah, that's true. And that's why you've built this community so that people can specifically help each other. Like, if I understand that, because a lot of times my family wouldn't understand something that an entrepreneur friend could understand. That doesn't mean that your family wants bad things for you. They just don't understand that.
That's correct.
Right. Amazing. And you mentioned that, you work with 200, 150, 200 people in one single call.
No, it's not one single call. It's not one single call at all. Okay. So what it is there's 10 people in a pod, and those 10 people when they're done, so they all have a minute apiece. So it's kind of a routine. You'll see it. If you want to see more about it, go to idoepicaccountability.com. When you get there, you'll see all the layout. You have 10 minutes in a 10-minute call, and then you go to the next group comes on, then the next group comes on. So they all cycle through, but they're all in a Facebook group. They all talk there. And then let's say the next month you want to switch groups, you switch into a later time, an earlier time, and you can network with a bunch of people and still be accountable.
Wow. And that networking must also give like a lot of business to one another, right? I see that.
Yeah, 100%.
All the time.
It's crazy. Yeah, they all work together. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. Awesome. And sorry for the disturbance.
You're good.
So, after making 5-6 figure incomes consistently, like right now I'm at multiple 5 figures consistently, and I want to scale to $100,000 a month consistently. Like, it happens here and there, but not consistently, right? And people get into their comfort zone. I have been there. Like, if I have a good month, I really procrastinate sometimes on pushing myself that hard that I did. For example, I had a really good month in Feb, and March I was just not doing all the things that I did in Feb again. So what is the thing that you are able, we can do consistently over and over again every single month so that we have that predictable consistency in business?
Build systems. So if I were coaching you today and you did that in February, we would model that and build systems so that we can get you out of the business. So right now, the business shouldn't need you to be growing. So what we want to do is create systems around how do we replace you, or where do we need somebody in the business so that if you're like, oh my gosh, I had a great month, but I don't want to go again, they do. And so build systems. That's the number one thing. So everybody that I coach, we're always looking at what system do we need to build next? Because when we build that, it accelerates the process and the speed of the business. And the other thing is most people think they have a business, but they have a job. And that means that they're working their ass off all the time, every single month to make it happen. When reality is that's not a business, that's a job. Anytime you have to be in the company all the time to make it happen, you've got a job, not a business, and not a sellable business. So my goal is to get you to where you have a business. You're out of the day-to-day and you're only doing the things that make you make money, with other people doing the things that they're supposed to do. And you are supervising the recipe. You're supervising seeing all the recipe come and the fruits come out of it. You're not sitting there baking the cookies anymore.
That's interesting, because I've seen a lot of people, and me also being at this stage, I still do feel that, entrepreneurs and get into this micromanaging their teams. They are still outsourcing people. They are still, getting other people to do their work so that they can expand the team. But they start micromanaging stuff because some people just have their, oh, it's my business, and they're not doing it in the right way. What if it doesn't work out the way they are doing it? So what would you do in that kind of scenario then?
Give them a spanking. No, really, I would just coach them on it. That means that their systems aren't in place. The thing that they don't, if they're afraid somebody can't do it as well as they're doing it, then they haven't documented how they do stuff right. Right? Because if they do it right, people can follow structure. There's brilliant people out there. We're not all dumb. So we can follow the systems and we can make stuff happen. So just your structure isn't built right. That's all. Wow. I'm not leaving. I'm letting a dog in for 5 seconds. My dog is scratching my door. I'll literally be right back.
Yeah.
Keep talking. Keep talking. You can ask the next question. I'm here. There we go.
No, actually, that's crazy. And that suddenly made me realize that, yeah, if I just document and have those SOPs in place step by step, if I just spend that one time instead of them expecting from them to do it, it would be so much more like easier to do it. Yeah, that's crazy.
Amen. Yep.
Amazing. And Bart, like, you've built multi-million-dollar business, and I know that building a business is not easy. You must have your ups, you must have your downs. And I always ask this question to everyone who comes on my podcast, like, what specifically motivates you to keep pushing forward when you have that down moment? Because it's easy to keep going when you're successful. Like, everyone can do that. It's no rocket science. But when you're having failures over and over again, then you might lose that motivation. So what still keeps you pushing forward?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And I'm going to push back a little bit, which means this is, I don't agree that everybody, even though business is easy for them, usually something else is hard for them. No matter what in life, we're humans. We're going to have ups and downs. So you might have a multi-million-dollar business doing great. That doesn't mean you're doing well. I mean, let's just take, for example, Robin Williams. I mean, #1 actor, in my opinion, in the world. Yet what did he do? He made all the money. He was funny, had a family, had all the things, still committed suicide. Okay. So the biggest thing is mental. You've got to be able to sit down at night and say, what am I living for today? What's my purpose? What's my passion? What's fun for me? And you've got to be mentally always feeding your brain to be able to overcome any obstacles. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have obstacles, because you are, but it's way easier when you're prepared for those obstacles than when you hit the obstacle and then you have to become prepared, right? It's always better if I know a storm's coming and I've got my windows blocked than it is during the storm trying to block my windows. Okay. So the one thing I would teach everybody out there is that if you do not have a good meditation, if you don't have a good workout routine, if you're not feeding your soul, and this goes for a lot of women, because a lot of women out there, and it makes me so angry that men do this to women, but a lot of women out there don't have a good self-care. They don't get free from their kids. They don't have, they feel enslaved in so many ways that's just not right. You've got to take care of you, then you take care of the business. Okay. So it's very, very crucial that you're reading good materials, that you're going out and you're getting in touch with your feminine energy or your masculine energy, and you're lifting weights, you're doing the things you need to, because when you show up, then you can become a high performer and you want to live. And when shit happens, you just go, yeah, it sucks right now, but I'm in a good place and I have plenty of energy and my windows are blocked up and we're going to kick ass. And whatever happens, guess what? We're going to move on. Let's crush this together. But if you wait until you're in that, then all of a sudden you wake up and you go, man, there's a lot to do. I could have saved so much if I'd have prepared myself, but I didn't prepare myself. So all I would say is prepare yourself. And when I'm saying prepare yourself, it's right here. Mentally, physically, get this body in great shape and go out there, eat the best you can, There's nobody that doesn't have oxygen to do breath work. There's nobody that can't do meditation, and there's nobody that can't drink water. Okay. Get those things done and crush it.
That was a mic drop moment, and so many, especially with this hustle culture being on the trend, and especially people like me who are in the young 20s and adapting entrepreneurship, like people in my age are, I see every other person as an entrepreneur, which is great, but they are hustling a lot and they're not taking care of their health and their body and their self. Like they're just eating shit whenever they feel hungry, stuff like that. What would you say to those kind of people? I do know that it is important to do that, but they do not have this mindset developed yet.
Yeah, I would just say, I love you guys. I think you're awesome that you're hustling. But if you have the right mentor and you have the right direction, you won't have to hustle so hard, because the connections will make things happen for you and with you. The problem, the reason that we think we need to hustle so hard is because it's been a belief installed in us. Not because it's true, though. That belief isn't true. Okay, that is not a true belief. The true belief is that you can build something and take action on it and have the right people in the right seats on the bus and crush it. So anyway, I could spend all day on this, but I love that people love to hustle. I work my ass off. I'm a hard worker. I love to work. But at the end of the day, there's nothing more important than me being mentally sharp and being able to meditate and be able to bring those ideas in and take action on them. And action takers are money makers. But at the end of the day, you can wear yourself out to where you can't do anything. And mentally, you have no capacity to do the things you need to. And when you're wore out, you're wore out. It's just like a battery. When it's drained, it's drained. But if that battery is topped off and it's at its top peak performance, it can go a long time, but it still needs to be recharged. You are a battery. You are energy. If you don't recharge, you're going to drain yourself. And I'd rather be at high performance than I would be always on the low end, just trying to get my ass out of bed.
And do you think like this high performance, how much it affects the ability for you to be able to perform good as an entrepreneur as well?
Yeah, well, would you rather work with me or would you rather work with somebody who's exhausted every day?
You.
Okay. You're going to pay me money because I'm excited and I can get shit done and I know where things are at. Even if I only give you an hour every other week, you're damn right you are. Because I'm going to kick ass with you because I'm ready and I'm prepared to kick ass with you. I could go into battle with you because I've got the energy to go to battle with you. If I'm exhausted and I'm tired, nobody wants to hire that person because at the end of the day, they have nothing to give. They have nothing to pour into it. And it's the same with your family. If you're always showing up with your family and your little guy or your kids want to go play catch or play ball, or your wife wants to go out and you're so tired you can't do anything, guess what? They get tired of that too. And they're going to go find somebody who will. And I don't blame them. They should. You got to be a high performance in all things in your life. And there's certain things you can do to make that happen. And they're not complicated.
That was amazing. That was really amazing. I mean, we started our conversation with making money, and now we understand. Like I particularly understand, the audience understands. I can see the comments in that it is more about how you think and how mentally and physically fit you are. That is directly proportional to how much you're making.
Yeah, so it's really something I think a lot of cultures get that we don't get in the Western culture, is the fact that when we're in vibration, money vibration, we can't not attract money. But we get so caught up in so much other stuff that we can't even put out a vibration. Our energy fields are so bad that we couldn't attract anything if we wanted to. But yet these young entrepreneurs, I want to attract a beautiful wife. I want to attract money. I want to attract. It's like, but they can't even get their ass out of bed.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to attract anything? Like I mean, I don't mean that to be mean, but I'm like, you've got to understand that if I ring a tuning fork right now and it's vibrating at a certain frequency, the piano will instantly find that noise and vibrate to it. We want to vibrate. We want to be attractive. We've got to allow ourselves that capacity to be able to be attractive, though, or it won't work.
Amazing. Awesome. I I mean, I do not have, like this was a very big mic drop moment for me because I thought that let me do all the work and I mean, the work takes the priority and not health or not exercising because it's really simple that you don't see the results of your exercise instantly.
Yeah.
You see that money is coming in. So let me just do that first, right?
Yeah.
It's very
It's
common.
like everything, as you're a beautiful girl, you've got a lot of talent and you can run yourself into the ground, right? And people think that that's the right way to go. But I'm here to tell you, the more you take care of you, your energy will be brighter, your business will be brighter, you'll attract more, and you'll attract the right people in your life. They'll give you the recipes and the shortcuts to make things happen faster. And that's what you want. Attract those humans to you and allow them to work with you. And you use your skill set of what you do well, and you'll absolutely kill it.
Amazing. That is such a great strategy. Actually, nobody said it to me in like that way, that you actually can attract those kind of people. I do believe in energies, but I didn't know that you can actually do that because I've never practically seen it myself.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. If I was to get off this podcast and ask you for a favor today, would you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did you a favor and I love you and I'm here and I'm playing full out with high energy, right?
Yeah.
And then if you needed something, guess what? I would help you too, right? That's the great thing about life. We want to help each other. Do you want me to be successful?
Yeah, of course.
And I want you to be too.
Amazing. So many amazing golden, like I say, these golden nuggets that you shared with us today, Bart. And honestly, you've changed the way I actually think about a lot of things. So there's one question that the audience has from you that one person is asking that did diet and lifestyle habits are the key? Okay, one second. Yeah. She was not asking a question. She was coding something that diet and lifestyle habits are the key. When we can be a Ferrari, why be a Nova?
Yep, that's right.
Crazy. Everyone's loving it. And thank you so much for being on this podcast. I had a great time with you. I loved so many crazy things. So before we hop off, like if people want to connect with you one on one or, would like to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you? I would like to put your socials in the link.
Yeah, best is Instagram right now. That's where I spend most of my time. Facebook's really I'm on and off of it, but Instagram is easy to jump on. I do a lot of content on there, or jump in one of the accountability calls. I know it might be a little bit of money for you. I think it's $200 for a month, but there's a 7-day free trial. Jump in, see if it fits for you, and you'll get to see me in there, and you'll see how it happens and grow yourself. But Instagram, so it's Bart Allan, which is ALLAN Miller _ is my Instagram. And when you get there, just follow along, enjoy the journey. But those are the main spots to find me.
Awesome. I've posted your link in the chat. So everyone who's watching us, if you want to connect with Bart, you can find the link in the chat. And thank you so much, Bart, for coming on this. It was an interesting conversation.